this is Budgets with Grace. Today I am going to be giving you a blast from the past and showing you my very first budget using the software EveryDollar Budget from Ramsey Solutions. Typically you would be seeing the software YNAB, which is the budgeting software that I use today for my personal budget and several other budgets. Some of the best budgeting software out there. You can try it with a link in my description below. However, today we're going to be looking at the software that I used for my very first budget. I learned about Dave Ramsey first through my mom, who probably heard it through church, and I remember in probably 2014 or 2015 she said to me, like, hey, if I bought you a book about personal finance, would you read it? And I straight up said no. I was like 21 and I was like, I don't need that. Like, I make enough money now that I've graduated from college, which could have made my money do so much more for me. But aside from my main point. In 2016, there was kind of a big life event that happened that kind of reset my finances, and I started to budget. So I budgeted with EveryDollar since like 2016, so that's 4 years. And so we're not going to look at every month from EveryDollar, but I thought I would show you around. So you have to click copy on all of these months to start. So I haven't done that since I switched to YNAB in February 2020. So all the way back September 2016. You can see I just had one paycheck. It was like $664. And it was my last paycheck from my design job that I had in California. This time I had moved back in with my dad, and that can kind of explain a few other things like housing. I didn't pay him rent, transportation, I didn't have a car, and then groceries and eating out. I had just started using budgeting, and Dave Ramsey was yelling at me that I didn't have an emergency fund and that I had a credit card. So basically just try not to live your life until those things are done. You can see there's some overspending in this category, and yet that isn't reflected in the budget. It just kind of let me continue, which is another thing that YNAB will force you to fix that before going on. That was month one. This whole thing took a few months to kind of get rolling. So in October, I got a temporary job at Macy's as an associate. I am not sure what happened with this emergency fund because in September, I didn't plan for anything. I guess one thing you can do is set a starting balance. I'm not sure why there's $900 in here, but it doesn't show that I planned for it. I don't know what that is. November, I was working at Macy's, and then I got a job as a designer again, which means that I'm making post-grad job salary. I also got a traffic ticket, which was hugely embarrassing and really annoying when you're like trying to get out of credit card debt, which is what I was really focusing on. You can see in the sidebar a breakdown of what I was spending on. So debt was definitely my priority. I probably started with like $5,000. How much? I didn't put a starting balance in September, but pretty sure it was over $5,000. Yes, $530 in October. So that's what my life kind of looked like when I was starting to budget. I didn't live with my dad very long. I actually moved out in January, and I moved in with my boyfriend. And again, that took a couple months for things to kind of regulate, for my paycheck to start coming in regularly. So I will skip ahead to April. One thing I think I was doing in this month was showing my 401k contributions as part of my income so that I could track it in savings, and that's how I was doing that. Oh, I'm in August. this is what I wanted to show in April. So, the emergency fund, you can't move your money out of this in any way. You can't write negative anything in here. It just like adds it as a positive. So I had to create a transaction to pull it out and then put it into my income, which is so freaking annoying and like makes you feel really bad for dipping into your emergency fund, which I don't remember why I did it, but I shouldn't have felt bad about it. Like, should have just been able to do that. That's why it's there. Housing, it's super low. I was living in, honestly, not my favorite street in town, and I was sharing a room with my boyfriend in a 2-bedroom that we also shared with a roommate. So things were kind of cramped, and it wasn't the happiest days of my life. Eating out, I was really starting to ramp up. I had a huge issue with eating out at one point. We jumped to September. I moved out of my boyfriend's place. We broke up and I moved into a 1-bedroom apartment, which was a great decision for me. I'm like shocked that eating out is $100 and weed is $50 in September. Like, something isn't adding up here, and I think it's because of the software. I want to show July 2018. I got a raise at work, and I also moved out of that 1-bedroom apartment and started paying my mortgage. Or maybe, I don't think you have to pay your first month of mortgage. I think it's like covered in your closing costs or something. So I just got my refund from my apartment security deposit. Here we go. We got eating out at 2:32 and lunch at 2:28. And this is when I started eating out at work just about every single day. And I wanted to show February 2019 because I think it got bad. Where did I even moved it? Not even that bad, but still, like, this was an insane month, March 2019. Just all the food. Oh, part of it, I was on vacation. So maybe not too bad considering I was on vacation in Louisiana, New Orleans, which is obviously a place you want to eat a lot of food, so it is what it is. And let's skip forward a couple more months. This is when I was officially beginning to date Forrest. You can see Haley's wedding I budgeted for my cousin. And I believe her bachelorette was in July or maybe June. I want to see how much I spent from that. I guess I just counted it all in travel and other categories. Yeah, I must have put it under clothing and other just shopping. I was really general. I was not breaking it out that much. Oh, I spent on the couch. I bought a new couch, so that was kind of a big deal. This is another thing, cover, which I just had to take out of this emergency fund, I believe. Yeah, minus the cover. It's just so weird. Like, why is it like that? Oh, and then I started to go nuts on groceries because I felt like I was spending a lot on groceries and not a lot on the things you should be buying at the grocery store, like fruits and vegetables. So it looks like soup and salad, I was probably buying pre-prepared salad, which is good. This was like kind of my strategy to be like, buy more fruits and vegetables. I did this in YNAB for a while as well. I just thought it was useful for me for a time, and then I stopped doing it when it was not useful. And last month, I'll show you February. The month before I went into YNAB, I probably stopped tracking in here as much, because I actually was probably in there this month, and this is an interesting part. So I had set up all these event funds, but I hadn't like put anything towards any of them, and I think it's because of the clunkiness of moving things out of EveryDollar. It was paying for EveryDollar premium. I probably got that after I paid off that $5,000 credit card. Hopping back into our beloved YNAB, I wanted to show kind of why I wanted to show this, which is all these flags. I have a pretty system. Like, if there's nothing, then that's just a tracking account, not a big deal. If it's green, I've budgeted for it. If it's blue, it was my income or maybe a transfer from checkings into savings. And if it's red, then I didn't budget for it. It's overspending, something I shouldn't have purchased. When I look over this, like, it's mostly green and blue. This is for cannabis, which is my thing that I always overspend on. And let's see, I decided to do random giving, and I labeled it red because I felt like I wasn't planning for that. Spotify, I impulse purchased it, but these are like back in December and it's March. I started doing this in 2016 and I made a lot of mistakes along the way. So if you're just beginning to budget, YNAB is going to be the software that gives you the best opportunity for success. And just keep at it. Don't be too hard on yourself. You'll get better as you go. Big shout out to everyone for watching along in my budget journey in YNAB. I have over 200 subscribers now, which is pretty freaking crazy. And I'm just really grateful for everyone really sticking with me, especially in the last like 6 weeks. Everyone probably can tell from the videos that I was tired and really just adjusting to my new job. So it really means a lot to me that you didn't dip out when my audio started to suck. That's all I wanted to share with you today, so thanks so much for watching, and if you want to like, comment, subscribe, all the things, I'll catch you next time. Bye!